Okay, this is from the Daily Wire. It says, Penguin Random House Canada has contracted with psychology professor Jordan Peterson to release his forthcoming book, Beyond Order, 12 More Rules for Life, on March 20, 2021. But the development has reportedly also upset some staffers at the publishing house. According to Vice News, which spoke to 4 employees at Penguin Random House Canada, the publishing house held a town hall-style meeting where staff members aired their grievances about Peterson in the upcoming book. Some even cried about it. They were crying about Jordan Peterson at work. One employee told Vice that people were crying in the meeting about how Jordan Peterson has affected their lives, and noted that one person at the meeting also claimed that their father had been radicalized by the self-help professor. The employee said, the company since June has been doing all these anti-racist and allyship things, and then publishing Peterson's book completely goes against this. It just makes all of their previous efforts seem completely performative. In an interview with Vice, another employee called Peterson an icon of white supremacy, and as such suggested that the content of his book doesn't matter. Okay, a couple of things here. First of all, I'm not an expert in the publishing business, but I do know that the vast majority of books that a publisher like Random House puts out don't make any money. They make all their money from a few books that are put out every year. A book like Jordan Peterson's book is going to sell, 1 billion copies or whatever. They make all their money from this. And so in other words, if these idiots actually succeeded in stopping their publishing house from publishing Jordan Peterson, a lot of them are going to lose their jobs, because that's how they're getting paid this year, is from that Jordan Peterson book and a couple of other books. Of course, they don't realize that because they don't even understand their own business because they're morons. But the other thing, the main thing, of course, is this is just a good tip for all employers, I think. If you have someone crying at work, I think, and this could be a delicate situation, best way to handle it is to, take them by the shoulder, lead them into your office if you're the employer, if you're their boss, and sit them down, hand them a tissue, and I would just look at them with very kind eyes and say, get the hell out of here, you embarrassing baby. You're fired. And then the next really important step is, especially if they're crying about Jordan Peterson, make sure to gather all of the other employees, while that person gets their box of stuff together, have all the other employees stand and as they're walking out, point and laugh as they walk out in tears. That's the appropriate response to somebody crying at work. Completely unacceptable in general to cry at work. Over something like this, especially so. Now, I did say this on Twitter yesterday, and I was informed by some women that to have a rule of no crying at work is unfair to women, because women have to cry every once in a while at work. It happens, and I understand that. So I think what the rules should be, and I'm going to talk to HR here at Daily Wire about this, but because of course they care about what I think the rules should be. So I think what the rules should be is, men, you can never cry at work. Period. You cry at work, you're done. And you're fired and you're banished from all jobs in the future. But for women, you can cry once per fiscal quarter. And so what I would say is plan ahead, just make it count. If you feel like you want to have additional cries, you can apply for a waiver ahead of time with HR, and it'll take 3 to 5 business days to process. And when that comes through, you can have your cry. So I think those are what the rules should be. Hey, you. You right there. Hit the subscribe button right now. Do it right now. I thank you for your compliance. It's somewhat appreciated.